If you don't want to see him, then at least go out there and talk to him. He's been waiting outside for 2 days. He's not going to leave.
Let him sit.
Go talk to him. Maybe you'll feel differently.
He doesn't know that I'm pregnant. Once he sees, he'll hate me all over again.
You don't know that. He came all this way.
Stupid man. Why did he have to come?
All you ever talk about is wanting to go. Leave. Get out of here. Go with him.
He called me a filthy dog and said I tempted them. Why else would it happen? 5 months into the bush, passed between the soldiers like a wash rag. Used. I was made poison by their fingers. That's what he said. He had no choice but to turn away in dishonor.
It was sour pride.
And finally, on that day, that damn man had to go and get it. A new pot. The sun was about to crest, but I had to put in another hour before it got too hot. It was such a clear and wholesome day. This splendid bird, a peacock, had come into the garden to taunt me and was showing off its feathers. I stopped down and called to the bird, "Caw-caw, caw-caw!" And I felt a shadow cut across my back. And when I stood, 4 men were looking down at me. "Yes," I said, and the tall soldier slammed the butt of his gun into my cheek. Just like that. It was so quick. I didn't even know I'd fallen to the ground. Where did they come from? How could I not have heard them?
You don't have to.
He was so heavy, thick like an ox, and his boot was cracked and weathered like it had been left out in the rain for weeks. His boot was pressing my chest, and the cracks in the leather had the look of drying songhorn. His foot was so heavy, and it was all I could see. As the others took me, my baby was crying. She was a good baby. She never cried, but she was screaming. "Shh," I said. "Shh, don't cry." And right then, a soldier took his boot and stomped on her head. And she was quiet. Where was everybody? Where was everybody?
It's okay. Take a breath.
No, I fought them.
I know you did. I know you did.
But they still took me from my home. They took me through the bush. Raiding thieves, fucking demons. She is for everyone. Soup to be had for dinner, they said. They tied me to a tree by my foot, and the men came whenever they wanted to. I cleaned bullets, cleaned wounds. I washed blood from their clothing, and I lay there as they tore me to pieces until I was raw. 5 months, chained like a goat. These men, such terrible things. Fighting for our liberation. Still I close my eyes and I see it. Things I cannot stand to have in my head. How can men be this way? It was such a clear and open sky. So beautiful. How could I not hear them coming?
Those men were on a path. They were there. It happened.
A peacock wandered into my garden. The tomatoes were ripe. Beyond belief. Our fields of red sorghum were so perfect. It was going to be a fine season. Fortune thought so too. And we could finally think about planning a trip on the ferry to visit his brother. Oh God, please give me back that morning. Forget the pot, Fortune. Stay, that's what I would have told him. And how did I get in the middle of their fight? What do I do, Sophie? I must have done something.
You were picking sweet tomatoes. That's all. You didn't do anything wrong.
It isn't his baby. It's the child of a monster. There's no telling what it will be. Now he's willing to forgive me? And is it that simple, Sophie? But what happens when the baby is born? Will he be able to forgive the child? Will I? And even if I do, I don't think I'll be able to forgive him.
You can't know that until you speak to him.
I walked into the family, expecting open arms, an embrace. 5 months, suffering. I suffered every single second of it, and my family gave me the back of their hands. And he, the man I loved since I was 14, chased me away with a green switch. He beat my ankles bare, and I dishonored him. I dishonored him. Where was he? Buying a pot? He was too proud to bear my shame, but not proud enough to protect me from it. Let him sit in the rain.
Is that really what you want?
Yes.
He isn't going to leave.
Then I'm sorry for him.